Okay, I want you to imagine a city, a real jewel of the Roman Empire. So beautiful, people actually called it a poem in stone. Now imagine that city, just vanishing, lost to the world for centuries, hidden high up in the clouds. Well, today we're going on a journey to the mountains of Turkey to uncover the incredible story of Sagalassos.
That's not just some fancy historical description, right? It's a feeling. It tells you that Sagalassos wasn't just built. It was composed. A masterpiece, literally carved into the side of a mountain. This one quote really sets the stage for what we're about to uncover. A story of incredible beauty, sudden loss, and an amazing rediscovery.
And this is everything. We're talking 1,700 meters. That's over 5,500 feet up. Sagalassos was, quite literally, a city above the world. And its remoteness, well, that made it tough to get to. But that's also what saved it. Kind of ironic, isn't it? The very mountains that cut it off from the world also acted as its guardian, protecting its secrets for thousands of years.
So this is it. This is the central mystery we're here to solve together. How does a thriving, bustling metropolis, a real beacon of Roman civilization, just fall off the map? It's a cold case, centuries old, and we are about to follow the clues to crack it wide open. So, to understand how it was lost, we've got to start with how it began. Our story begins with the city's long history, from its rise to power to the quiet centuries it spent hidden from the world.
Now, Sagalassos had been around for a while. Even Alexander the Great came through here. But man, it was under the Romans, especially the Emperor Hadrian, that the city really hit its golden age. Can you just imagine the energy? A massive building boom transforming the city into this architectural marvel, a symbol of Roman power, way up in the mountains.
But as we all know, glory doesn't last forever. A whole series of disasters, we're talking earthquakes, plagues, political chaos, they just chipped away at the city's strength until it was finally abandoned. For centuries, it just slept, buried under dirt, becoming a forgotten memory. And then bam! In 1706, this French traveler, Paul Lucas, literally stumbles upon this ghost city. And just like that, the legend of Sagalassos was reborn.
Finding it again was just the beginning, though. The real work, the job of truly understanding Sagalassos, well, that would have to wait for the tools of modern archaeology.
Just picture this. For almost 300 years after it was rediscovered, the city just sits there, waiting. So when archaeologists finally launched a major project in 1990, they weren't just digging in the dirt, they were opening a time capsule. What secrets was this mountain holding for them?
And what they found was just breathtaking. I mean, we're not talking about a few scattered walls here. They uncovered an entire metropolis, practically frozen in time. A 9,000-seat theater clinging to the mountainside, huge public squares, a sprawling bath complex. This was a perfect snapshot of Roman life at its most vibrant.
And among all these silent, ancient stones, one discovery actually brought the city roaring back to life. The Antonine Fountain. They painstakingly restored it, and it began to flow again, with water from the exact same mountain spring that fed it 2,000 years ago. To hear that sound, it's like hearing the past whisper directly to you, a living, breathing connection to the people who called this city home.
So, uncovering these incredible buildings was one thing, but the team at Sagalassos, they wanted to know more. They wanted to know about the people. What were their daily lives like? What did they eat? What was their economy based on? And to find that out, they had to look for clues, for secrets, hidden in the soil itself. Seriously, this was no ordinary dig. The team they put together was like a real-life CSI Ancient Rome. They had geologists, botanists, DNA experts, you name it. Everyone worked together, using cutting-edge science to dust for the fingerprints of the past and piece together a complete picture of what life was like here.
And the results were just incredible. They figured out that Sagalassos was a massive pottery exporter. Their stuff traveled all over the Roman world. By studying animal bones, they found evidence of a really sophisticated diet, including fish brought all the way from the Mediterranean. And then, maybe the most amazing discovery of all, DNA analysis connected the ancient skeletons directly to the people living in the nearby town of Aglason today. Incredible, right?
So, with all this incredible evidence in hand, from the giant buildings down to the microscopic pollen, the team could finally try to solve that central mystery. What on earth happened to this magnificent city?
This is the big question, isn't it, for any lost city? We know it was rich. We know it was important. We know people were thriving here for over 1,000 years. So why did everyone leave?
Well, the clues didn't point to a single cause of death. It was more like a cascade of calamities. A perfect storm. First, a huge earthquake around 500 AD shattered the city's water pipes and buildings. Right after that, the deadly Justinian plague swept through, devastating the weakened population. And then, in the 7th century, a second, even worse earthquake delivered the final blow. The city, once so alive, just slowly bled out, until the very last inhabitants finally moved away.
And so, the city slept. But here's the amazing thing. Its abandonment, its tragedy, that became its greatest gift to us. The very forces that wiped it off the map are what preserved it so perfectly for the future. Today, Sagalassos stands as one of the most complete and absolutely stunning classical sites in the entire world. It's even on the tentative list for UNESCO World Heritage status. And its legacy isn't just in the ruins. It lives on in that nearby town, Aglasun, where the descendants of its ancient people still live. And all its artistic treasures, the incredible statues of emperors and gods, you can go see them right now at the Burdur Museum.
You know, the story of Sagalassos teaches us a really powerful lesson. Sometimes, history's greatest treasures are saved by tragedy. The city's collapse was its salvation. And it really leaves you with a haunting question, doesn't it? How many other stories, how many other lost poems in stone are still waiting out there, just beneath our feet, for their turn to finally be read?